Foaming pump sprayers. They're awesome, right? Or are they? Now there's battery powered versions, because with the traditional foamers, right, of course they're great to use, whether you're doing some engine bay detailing, you want to clean your wheels and tires, you want to foam your vehicle because you don't necessarily have a foam cannon and pressure washer setup. They're very practical, but the main caveat with these is you're always pumping them, you're wasting energy, and then you're constantly having to repump as you're using it, and it becomes more and more complicated. So although they work fantastic, and I still have many in my collection, over the years, many manufacturers started to release some battery-powered foamers, right, over time. So there's a lot of ones that I have tested on the market. There's been different iterations, and it gets kind of confusing. So in this video, we're going to do a comparison or a battle of different battery-powered foamers on the market to help you guys make a better purchasing decision from entry level to mid-tier to top tier. Which one is the best out there? Is there one that stands out over the others? And to do that, before I do that actually, I'm gonna leave the links to all the stuff, the tools, products, the equipment in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video, nobody paid for this video, and to do this video, I enlisted the help of a special guest. You guys know on the Pan the Organizer channel, I like to help other channels to grow and get discovered if they're doing great things for the detailing community. And this man here, I met him in person over at SEMA in an event, also in Omaha with DIY Detail last year, and he's none other than Michael Keav. So he's known as Cars with Keav YouTube channel. I'll leave his channel linked in the description, but Keav is a great guy because he's focused more on the equipment side of things for the detailing world, whether it's hoses, pressure washers, all the machinery that you need, foam cannons. He's known for the foam cannon drop tests, and of course, sprayers of all kinds. He does a deep dive. So what we're going to do here today, we're going to have some of the most popular models currently available, the latest in the technology. He's going to give you his personal opinion on all the ones that he's tested. You're going to see them, of course, in a demo, in action as well. So you can make, again, a better purchasing decision. You're going to see the latest, greatest stuff, some of it that was unveiled at SEMA that's now available for purchase and all that kind of stuff. So again, I'll leave those links. But again, Keav, great guy, man. He has such a good personality. He's a super nice person, and he's very thorough. He likes to do crazy deep dives into the technical aspect of things. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. Again, I'll leave the link to his YouTube channel, but it's Cars with Keav. So without further ado, I know you guys want to jump right into the test and demo and all that kind of stuff. So Keav, take it away.
Thanks, Pan, for having me on your channel. I'm Keav from the Cars with Keav YouTube channel. And on this channel, we tend to do hardware reviews of most things used in car washing and car detailing. We also really try to think outside the box into different industries, trying to find products that could be used for car washing and car detailing, rinseless wash, things like that. Building wash carts, all kinds of fun things. And one of the biggest things I'm into right now is battery foamers. And why battery foamers? Well, another focus of the channel is to make things more enjoyable, and not having to do this all the time definitely makes my washing experience more enjoyable. I absolutely hate pumping this. You've seen it across YouTube. You've seen it on channels. They're pumping that sprayer. And they're never pumping it to its best ability because they're tired of pumping. And even if they do, a lot of times there's too much liquid in the bottle. There's not enough air void. So then it dies and you have to pump it again really quickly. Now that's the one style of battery foamer, is that air compressor. It's using compressed air and it's just forcing air in there instead of you pumping the air. That forces the chemical out. Now, as you move over to these are electric pump style. They use a pump that sucks the liquid up and then shoots it out. It just has like a push button or some kind of trigger mechanism to shoot it out. It uses a pulse and a felt filter to create that foam. These use a combination of the air and the felt filter. The air compressor style ones tend to be a smoother flow and a much more consistent foam. These tend to spitter and spatter a little bit more because they use that pulse. So speaking of those products, let's go from one side to the other, going through the cheapest to the most expensive. Now there are tons of other battery foamers out there, but I felt like most of them, they just weren't worthy of hitting this table. Just because they're expensive doesn't mean they're good. There's multiple expensive ones out there. I won't mention their names, but they're not on this table because they're not very good. And we'll start here with the Vaxme. This is an air compressor style. It's really one of the first ones that I ever reviewed. This one is inconsistent in quality. The few that I've gotten have worked quite well, but they're not reviewed very well on Amazon. They have pretty low ratings. And I think we know why. A lot of people in my comments, a lot of us got together and we really tried to figure out what was going on with this. And we basically all come to the same conclusion that the battery mechanism in this sits kind of low on the inside and it's too close to the liquid. So we feel that a lot of overfill is happening. And even after you fill up to the max line, you're very, very close. So even the condensation can get in the battery compartment because it's not sealed very well. I had one go bad for about 6 months after tipping it over. So that's how I kind of figured out how it happened. So here's how close. The handle is really good quality. It's very solid. The whole dome shape is very solid, but the tip and the trigger here tend to be more of a 3D printed style feeling type of plastic. You have the ability to pull the trigger down and get your spray out. You have a little lock right there that you can push in. You have your USB-C here. It turns on by the button and then it will shut off when it's fully charged. This is the quietest out of the group as well, which is another reason I really liked it. It has a really good spray pattern. It has a nice pressure relief valve. It's also on the bottle. And you can see already that's the problem. You see the battery compartment? It's even wet. See it? It got wet even from what was in here. So if you're ever going to use this, I would never fill this beyond a liter. So buyer beware on this. It's about a 50-50 shot on whether it's going to survive for you or not. So this is the L-Fianx or Fianx. I can't remember exactly how to say it, but this is an electric pump style. And actually remember, it's actually quieter than this one. This is the quietest compressor style. This is the quietest overall. It has a switch at the top that allows you to turn it on and off, but you won't hear it make noise until you push the button. This lasts an hour. This lasts an hour. And think about that. That's an hour straight running. That is many, many, many washes. First thing is, with it being electric pump style, there is no pressure relief valve. You can immediately unscrew it without having to worry about there being pressurized air. Here is the biggest downfall, that very small neck with this massively big bottle. But you see, you do not have that battery issue at the bottom of this one. All of them have basically the same style of spray nozzle. Some of them just have a little bit wider fan than others. Push the button, you can hear it. It is a very wide base, so it is very well balanced when it sits down, even empty or full. Your USB charging is back here behind the handle. Like I said, these two are in that $30 to $50 range. It depends on the coupons on Amazon. They're both Amazon. Sometimes this is between 40 and 45. Sometimes it's between 35 and 40. Now we move into the next tier. This is the SPTA. Wide base, so it's very balanced, just like this one. Even though it's a solid color, it has a sight window here. You have your USB-C here. There's your push button. Push it once, you just hold it as long as you need to. And then you can do a double click and it stays running. This one comes with a lot more features that most don't have. This has about an 1/8 of a turn quick connect that just goes on real quick. It has a weighted ball and a flexible straw. So when you turn it at an angle, it can fall in the liquid a little bit more. It's not 360 spray, but it's a lot better than the other ones. And just like this one, no issues with that battery placement. Now you move on to this one, the auto foam spray, which is very much like the SPTA. It's got a little bit smaller, slimmer form factor, but it's a little bit taller, obviously, because you need the bottle to be a little bit taller to have the same capacity. You got your 1/8 inch quick release like the SPTA. It's a little bit tenser, a little bit tighter. You have a flexible straw, but it's not a weighted ball, but it is a filter at the bottom that is very heavy. So it also falls, but not as much as the SPTA. Obviously the same kind of design. You do not have a battery issue with the top of this one. Solid bottle, has the sight window as well. Your USB-C is right here on the side, has the same button as the SPTA. Hold to just run, and then double click to keep running. Now, just like the other two, these are only available on Amazon. They stick in that $50 to $70 range depending on the sale, but they normally sit right around $60 to $65. This one runs about an hour. This one runs about 45 minutes or so. So now we move on to these two. You've probably been looking at them the whole video going, those aren't battery foamers. Well, they weren't originally. This is for many of you who are looking to get into the battery foamer without having to buy another battery foamer. You already have a really good pump foamer that you like. And the best thing about these is if the battery's dead or it doesn't work anymore, you can still pump it. It's not a brick like these can be if they don't work anymore. The easiest way to do it is with the IK Foam Pro 2 Plus, which already has a Schrader valve installed. So all you're doing is taking a small inflator battery pump and Velcroing it to the side and putting a hose on it. So now you have a portable battery foamer. Now, a lot of people prefer the Merrill-X Axle 2000 over the IK. And for me, from a pump standpoint, I think it's better. Now, when you add an inflator to these and put them on a more even playing field with the inflator, I think the IK wins. Now, for many of you with the axle, there's a little bit more modification that goes with this. I've done a video on it, but you can drill a hole in here and add your own Schrader valve. Buyer beware. You are the warranty when you do these kinds of things. So here's that Schrader valve that we added to the bottle of the Marilex. Now, I treat this one as my really light portable style battery foamer. So I'll take the inflator, we'll hook it up, and then a really small inflator sits right here on the side. So it really doesn't add a whole lot of weight, and it doesn't change too much of how you use this. But these little inflators are really, really loud. Sounds like an electric shaver on nuclear mode. Now on the Foam Pro 2 Plus, this is already there for you by the manufacturer. That's a more trusted way to do things. I prefer this, but it's just a normal IK bottle. I added the Velcro to the side. We hook this one up. This one has a quick connect on it, goes down, clicks on that Velcro, and it's there nice and sturdy. Now this inflator is special compared to all the rest of them on the market. This is the only one I know of that has a start and stop, just like the eFoam Pro 2. You hold down this left button and you hit the right button and you get this little bitty circle here in the corner. That puts it into a special mode where you choose your pressure, and when you push the button, it's going to turn on. And when it hits its max pressure, it turns off. But when it drops 5 PSI below the max pressure, it automatically turns back on. This is the only one I know of that does that. It's about 50, 60 bucks. So this whole setup right here, it's going to cost you about $100, $110. Now the Marilex route is a little bit cheaper because you're using a much smaller, cheaper inflator. You're going to be in about the $80, $85 range with this setup. That includes the Velcro and everything. Then you move on to the eFoam Pro 2, which is $120. But man, is this thing good. It's compressor style like the rest, has the pump panel just like these, but it's an out of the box solution that does everything that these do, but you don't have to do anything to get it. You just push a button and you go. Up close, you got your button. You're just going to push it in. It's going to turn it on after about 3 to 4 seconds. Solid green light. Push it again. Turns on and runs till it needs to stop, and it stops. Then when it needs to turn on, it would automatically turn on. You see, quick sprays. There's no pulse or anything like that. And since it's heavier on the bottom, you would think that it's going to be really fatiguing, but it kind of sits down here on a pendulum. And it's really not bad. And that weight really obviously makes it very balanced, especially when it's empty. Pressure relief valve is right here. So when you take the top off, always make sure you relieve that pressure. Now there's nothing really special with the tube, weighted ball or anything like that. It's kind of fixed position. But up here, you'll see there's a gray piece. There's a siphon up there. It also comes with an orange one and a green one. That allows you to change your foam from wet to intermediate to dry. So you have much more versatility in the different types of foams that you want to create. So enough talking about these. Let's have some fun and spray that foam on the panel. So welcome to the other side of the garage. And this is our test panel, probably the most washed hood in the world. We do all of our tests on this, all of our reviews, because this is a consistent panel that does the same thing every single time. We can do it in vertical, we can do it horizontal. Our Incredible Suds from DIY Detail is our control soap. We use the same dilution every single time as well to make sure that we're using the same controlled environment for all of the products that we're testing. So I've dialed it down to about 150 to 1, which I believe is the perfect dilution for Incredible Suds to highlight the really good foamers and start showing the mediocre foamers. Because remember, you're not using any pressurized water. Your pressure washer, your orifice size, none of that is influencing the foam that comes out of this gun. The dilution I have in here is the same dilution regardless of any time that you use it. And some people say too thick is not good, and that's possible, but we always want to start with the thickest amount because we can always dial foam down. We can't dial foam back up. So we have to start at the best point, the heaviest foam, and you can work your way down to get the consistency that you want. So this is a Vax-May. We hit it, we let it pump up. But this thing has some really good foam. And the biggest thing you see about this foam is it's a very tight pattern compared to the other ones. It can be a little heavy in areas and a little lean in areas, but it's still a really good pattern. You can get really close and get a very, very short, narrow style. When you get further away, it doesn't cover as well. So when you get about this far out, we have to go much slower to get our coverage. Because if we go fast, we're just spattering. And you can spray and spray and spray, and it's just going to keep pumping, and it's going to keep that foam consistent. this really is not what you want to use to do an entire car. This is a wheel and tire specialist, those small areas. Like I mentioned before, we try to be as controlled as possible on the channel. That's why you saw us rinse and dry, because we started with a dry surface. We need to do a dry surface with every one of these, so we're not changing how the foam would react on the surface. If the surface was wet, it would dilute down and the foam would move differently. So here's the L5 or however you want to pronounce it. Click it to on, and then we spray. And you can see already the electric, you see how it's spitting and sputtering? That's how it tries to create foam. That also makes it take longer to create a nice even coating across the surface. So sometimes it's better to stay a little bit closer, a little bit narrower, and just go slower. If we speed up, we're just gonna get the spatter pattern. We have to get closer, just like that. Just like the last one, it's not a big area sprayer. This is a small area specialist. Wheel and tire is where it's going to be used best. You're going to get a really nice small pattern for your wheel and tire. You can still go at a decent rate because you can go faster on a smaller pattern. So now we're into that middle category with the SPTA here. So you see we can go a little bit quicker on this one, and we're getting a good consistent pattern. It's kind of lean in the middle. It is kind of strong on the outside, but we're able to move much faster than the previous electric pump style. And we can get really close and get just really thick ribbons just like that. Further away, it's a little bit better, but it's still spattery, and you can really see the lean condition in the middle versus his a little bit stronger on the outside. Just like the others, I say this is a small area specialist as well. Wheels and tires. I mean, that tight, thick, consistent all the way across, because you can weld dimes with foam, but you can also lay a nice, consistent, thin pattern. So now we move on to the auto foam spray in that middle category. I would say from a consistency standpoint, very strong on the outside, a little bit drier foam than the SPTA. So that's why you don't see it moving much, but also I'm not getting as consistent of a spray at the speed I'm going. I have a lean condition in the middle, and I have to go a little bit slower. But it is a much thicker, drier foam. Getting really close. Like I said, you can weld dimes with these. Once again, small area specialist, wheel and tire. But not as good as the SPTA. You see that difference in that spray pattern. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, you're seeing the much larger Shumi inflator on the side, but that little one sucked and it was too loud. It just couldn't do it. The battery died before I could even get it filled up, but this thing filled it up instantly. We're at 44 PSI right now. Look at that. Look how quick I can go. You saw how it turned on, just like a really good sprayer foamer should. There's a little bit of lean condition here at the bottom, but no big deal. But the thin, you can get a really thin, nice foamy layer. So you're covering with less product. You're getting quick, how fast we are. The slower you go, the thicker it gets. And then if you want to thin it out, you just go a little bit faster. You want to go thick, small. I mean, we're welding big dime. So you see how well it foamed, but when you get a little bit further away, the pattern on the axle doesn't quite cover. It's thinner, it is covering more area, but it's not covered. So it sticks in a spray pattern about this wide, which is better than the others, but it's not as wide as you would like to do an entire car. So medium area specialist. You're gonna do those wheels and tires, but you're also gonna be able to do a full quarter panel, the bottom portion of the car, the whole front bumper, areas like that that are a little bit dirtier than the rest of the car. Now I'm just going straight to the IK Foam Pro 2 because the DIY IK sprays exactly the same. The spray head on this is exactly the same as the Pro 2 Plus. The abuse that I've put this through in my video on it, I dropped it 4 or 5 times. It broke my concrete testing slab that I used in the garage to do durability testing. Now we also got to understand failure rates. We don't know. It's only a couple days old what the failure rates could be if there are more. This is a new endeavor for IK with the battery compressor built into the bottle. Now one of the downfalls of this is it has about a 30-minute runtime, which is still a lot. That's a lot of cars, especially if you're just doing wheels and tires. Now the DIY method, that little inflator, that Shumi inflator, only lasts about 12 to 15 minutes. You saw how much area we were able to cover. This one can actually do an entire car. It's definitely more cumbersome than say an IK Foam Pro 12 doing an entire car, but it definitely can be done. And you can get in close, do those wheels and tires, but even close, you still have a very wide spray pattern. And you can stack those foam dimes. The speed I can move with this size spray pattern, now, as with anything in the video, these are my opinions. The SPTA is the best overall electric pump style foamer there is. It's just an overall package. It has the quick connect, it has the flexible straw, the weighted ball, a good decent spray pattern, a great runtime, just in that middle tier, just a great overall foamer. Now, when it comes to the air compressor style, I think the IK Foam Pro 2 is the best. That amazing durability in the drop tests, just the build quality. The runtime isn't the best at 30 minutes, but 30 minutes is still good, but it's that amazing spray pattern that puts it over the top for me. And that's what makes it the best overall foamer to me, is just that spray pattern. That's what it's about, that spray pattern. And remember, I'm just showing you the intermediate. There's also 2 siphons to give you an even drier foam or an even thinner foam to get you exactly what you're looking for. So I hope you enjoyed the videos and my opinions on battery sprayers. I'm going to send it back to you, Pan.
Keav, man, that was an awesome test. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. It's crazy how deep we can do of a dive in the detailing world for anything, whether it's pressure washers, polishers, tools, chemicals, equipment, the battery foam sprayers, and all that kind of stuff, right? So we just love detailing. Again, I'll leave the links to all this stuff in the description under the video for you guys to check everything out. Also, big shout out to Keav. Thank you. I think you did a tremendous job with this video. Hopefully that helped you guys make a better purchasing decision. Go on his channel, Cars with Keav, help support him. Tell him that Pan, the organizer, sent you there. Subscribe to his stuff if you guys want to do deeper dives into anything detailing equipment related. Pretty awesome stuff, whether it's pressure washers, foam cannons, equipment, sprayers, pump sprayers, battery sprayers, you name it. He loves doing deep dives and all that stuff. So he found his niche in that, and I highly encourage him to continue. He's doing some great stuff for the community. I'll leave his channel linked in the description. If you guys want to see future battles, is there anything that you want to see? Is there another YouTuber that you'd like me to do a collab with on my channel? I like, again, to help channels to get discovered and to grow. I think it's important to give back to the community, and if everybody could help each other out, we'd be a much better space on YouTube. And so I'm trying to lead by example here. And also, by the way, quick announcement, hopefully by the time you see this video, it's already been made, but all the Clean by Pan, the organizer products, tools, equipment, polishers, towels, brushes, all that kind of stuff, they're available on Amazon now. So check that out. I'll leave links in the description, but you guys are going to be able to take advantage of the Amazon Prime free shipping if you have that. And we're keeping the same pricing as on the House of Rags website or on cleanbypan.com website. So I'm not increasing the prices on Amazon. So take advantage of this. Thank you for making the brand also very successful. And for the sprayers now, hopefully we helped you guys better with the better purchasing decisions, and you guys can make a buying decision. And if you do and you try one of those sprayers, leave comments in the comment section. Which one is your favorite one? Which ones have you tried? Which ones do you dislike? Which ones do you not recommend? It's always good to have viewer feedback. So guys, there's also many videos that you can learn on, over 1,000 videos on my channel for learning detailing tips, tricks, and tutorials and product reviews, equipment reviews, and all that kind of stuff. So I highly encourage you to, of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, consider clicking the subscribe button, and that way you'll continue to learn more about the passion for detailing and everything surrounding it. And it's just, an endless pool of different videos. I've done many collabs with other people as well on this channel, so check those out. But yeah, if you want to learn more, you got to subscribe and you got to stay tuned for many future videos. So in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.